Goatmen are huge now too.
Yeah, and there seems to be two different types.
Yeah, there seem to be at least multiple types.
An undead one, and then the normal looking ones. And of course the shaman with the two horns.
Beefy ones and the shaman one.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the different ones we see in screenshots too, it makes you wonder just how varied they are going to be.
Yeah, it seems some throw spears at you, shaman in the middle of those two, and then there's some that charge forward and attack you with axes. It's rather more diverse than we've seen before with those goatmen.
And this sort of goes back to the encounter system that they were talking about. You know, it kind of disappointed a lot of people when they were like, yeah, it's new system, the encounter system. People are like, what does this even mean? Well, it is significant, but it's one that a lot of people don't think about, which is, okay, instead of it just being a pack of goatmen, it's going to be a couple, you know, small kind of strikerish goatmen that'll try and get behind you, and then a couple tankish goatmen that are bigger, harder to kill, but are still going to do some decent damage. A shaman goatman and a bunch of artillery ones. You know, so it is going to be mixed packs. It is going to be sort of mini events, and it will require you to change up your approach at least a little bit,
right,
from moment to moment.
Especially when we get to, I was going to say, when we get to the later difficulties. I mean, it's not so much let's throw a bunch of monsters together and have them just do their attacks. It's actually a system down now to, okay, what monsters do we want to have in this area, and what do we want them to do, and how do we want them to interact with each other? So they're putting a lot more into the monster mechanics than they have ever before. Which is just awesome.
It's interesting to see how that's going to get like really kind of amped up, like Ken said. You know, what is that going to look like in hell difficulty? Because all the details that we've seen so far are largely from normal difficulty first playthrough. And Bashiak has said, normal, you can get through it without gemming. You're going to die a couple times, but overall, especially if you're an experienced player, you're just kind of going to walk through it. It doesn't really matter what you put your skills into, or, you know, you don't have to worry about a rotation or having, you know, the best gear or making sure that your gear is really suited to your build.
Mm-hmm.
So
rotation.
You know, like, you know, particularly with the more advanced classes like the monk, or if you really want to push the barbarian to their limits, and, you know, in fury management and stuff like that, you know, you really won't have to worry about it. It'll be pick some favorite skills and go kill stuff. You know, that's going to be normal mode. It's going to be go kill stuff, play the story, have some fun, chop things apart. And the encounter system, you know, you'll see it, but it'll introduce you to the mixes of things, but you're not necessarily going to have to actually worry about it. But come hell difficulty, you know, thinking about those the vessel chanting groups on hell difficulty, like that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, they played a little in the panel. They played a little videos of kind of their process of going through the encounter system and revising it. And the first like thing they had where they just put monsters out there. I think it was a demon hunter, and she just got stomped by all three of them. They just like wouldn't let up. So I'm thinking they're kind of going to scale back the encounter system and kind of let monsters have more of a say in the fight, you know, come at you more often and less taunts, and, you know, just a smarter way of handling it in later in difficulties, rather than just let's throw some immunities on these guys, let's make these ones stronger and all that stuff. So it can really, you know, manipulate the mechanics of how monsters interact with you at different difficulties, which is just rad.
Maybe you can answer this, Ken. The very beginning of the video, you can see, you know, appears pretty obviously to be a waypoint. Did they always look like that?
Let me see the very beginning.
Oh, I was wondering what that was.
You basically see a circle, and inside it's a triangle, and it has, you know, a light at each point.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot like the waypoints from Act 2 of
Yeah,
that's cool. No, there were no waypoints in any of the BlizzCon demos.
Huh.
that's what I kind of figured, and when I saw this video, I was like, I've never seen this before. It looks like a waypoint, but, you know, I didn't know if it had appeared before or not. So.
Oh, that's the first time I've ever seen one.
Definitely looks like a waypoint.
Huh. Cool.
Those witch doctor frogs don't look too intelligent. If you keep watching the video, they run
Yeah,
away from the battle.
The Mongols are going in the right direction, but the Toads are just like, hey, what's over here?
Like, there's some shit going down over there. I'm out. Peace. I'm gonna go get some health globes.
Like, nom nom. I bet they're probably like an area attack, so they attack the area that you threw them at.
Go
Going to the wrong
mindlessly in a
area.
straight line.
Yeah. They're a very bright green.
Yeah, they're pretty neon.
There were a lot of little things I noticed throughout the video, though. Like I said, just in the first few seconds of actual gameplay going on, you can actually see a blue wave of force coming from the Enchantress, and it kind of debuffs them. So that's either lower resistance or amp damage or some sort. And then we, of course, have this controversial thing that popped up on the forums there for a little while with the bola shot being fired from a bow and people complaining about that not making sense. But, you know, you're always going to have those.
Bola shot being shot from a bow.
Yeah.
Well, until they get the Blood Elf to not shoot her bow in a way that will snap her back in two, I'm going to go ahead and let Bola shot from a bow go.
Pretty much.
It's just nitpicky things that people love to nitpick about.
You know, it's really funny about those frogs. They look like they're going to head in the right direction, and then they go, no, screw
like,
that.
Yeah.
No!
Stupid frogs.
You guys got it handled. We're out.
They look over there like, oh, hell no. I ain't
Pretty much.
That's exactly
Forget that. I'm out one of the globes.
Screw that noise.
Go blow up those things. Are you kidding? Look at that sucker.
You understand I'm a frog, right? Very fragile
Here's something
creature.
that's kind of neat. I'm not sure who's doing it because it's so the beginning of the Templar area when he's tanking all those guys. You notice there's an aura around all of them, and they're moving quite slowly.
And now here's the thing that makes that tricky is it could be the Templar doing that, but it's also a wizard as the player character. So it could be, you know, some frost aura that the wizard has or something like that.
Frost Nova slow him down or something.
I don't know if I don't think the wizard has any of those.
Yeah,
Like Frost Nova freezes and time slows, but I don't think they have an aura that slows or anything.
Well, which one of his skills on the skill list do you think would do that?
Oh, let me look at the skill list again.
I was going to say, if you're actually thinking about the skill list, it doesn't really, you know, a lot of them are pretty ambiguous. You can't really define.
Could be Intimidate, right?
Yeah,
Could
exactly.
be Guardian, could be Tribute, could be Empathy,
Knight.
could even be Knight.
Yeah.
Well, his armor indication should give us what... Well, his armor should give us some indication of what skill levels he's at. Because there is a progression as they level up, their armor changes and their look and whatnot.
True.
Also
So he
notice
does
that-
look like he's probably tier 2, so around level 10.
That is an epic spear, too.
Intimidate.
You also notice when the wizard's attacking, it does freeze the targets, which means that, you know, whatever this aura is, it's separate from regular freezing, because, you know, they actually turn blue and, you know, change from the others in the group,
Mm-hmm.
and go even slower.
I
Yeah.
think the bottom line here is we need the game to come out so we can find out.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Or beta.
what the heck?
So
Cool with that
if someone would be willing to just sort of toss a beta our way so we could answer these questions.
Friends and family beta. Come on, let me in right now. I want to play.
I'll be
I
your
could play
friend.
tonight.
I'll even join your family.
We will
Give me the
share-
paper to sign.
we will
That's
share
right.
all the news.
I will marry your daughter or your sister or
Your son?
your,
Hey,
It's
you know what?
California.
I'll take one for the team.
I'll take one for the
Gets me in Diablo 3. I'm in.
I will play for the other team so I can play for Diablo.
this. Yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
The dedicated podcast members.
I'm also looking at the one of the Templars sheet right now, and it looks like he gets something unlocked at level 25.
Yeah, all of the followers have a special slot that's unlocked at level 25, and it's a unique item just for, or a unique item type that is just for that that follower. The only one that we know about at the moment is for the Templar, and that's a special tome.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then that casts kind of an aura. I think, yeah, let me
Maybe.
look that up real
You
quick.
don't know.
No. Jay Wilson said that, and I have it right here. A tome of lore that Cormac seeks, which was stolen from his order by the Archbishop Lazarus of Diablo 1 fame, improving your weapon stats once it is back in his possession. Kind of like an aura-style buff, apparently, though Smokey says the article isn't clear on that. So it was a translation from a German interview with Jay Wilson. So, improves your weapon stats.
Hmm.
Kind of breezed through that one since a lot of the translations were a little, a little
Sketchy.
off.
Off,
I
yeah.
was like, well, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to trust this because I don't know if they're really saying this or if that's just a bad translation. I don't know.
We have German listeners. Somebody get back at us. Translate that for us. That would be awesome. I also like the simplified planes. It's just like this dude has this much armor, this much life, and does this much damage. Very simple, easy to grasp.
Now, a lot of people were sort of criticized. It's like, they can't wear armor. They don't have an armor slot. It's just weapons and jewelry. What do you think? Should they have armor, or is it just kind of it's fine as it is because they shouldn't be, they should be low maintenance?
I think they should be as low maintenance as possible, especially if you're considering the fact that they may not even be viable in Nightmare and Hell at all.
Definitely.
I
Yep.
mean, why do I want to invest that much time and energy into it?
And plus, for the majority of people, they're not going to be fighting alongside these guys anyway, so even then it's not going to have a huge impact. I mean, rarely will you be fighting with these guys on Battle.net, because you'll be playing with other people in other games, and they're not allowed to join in on the fight.
Now, what's your opinion on the whole Nightmare Hell thing? Is that sort of a bad idea on their part? Is it just kind of okay, or do you think it's really the right way to go? That these are normal mode, they're only really viable in normal mode.
That's something I'm kind of torn between, because I can see people who are against them and their opinion, I respect that and everything, but they have put a lot of effort and time into creating these cool characters that I'm assuming will be cool to interact with and fight with and whatnot. And so in the later difficulty, it kind of bums me out that you won't have them there when you're, playing alone. But I imagine, or when I attempt Nightmare in Hell, I'm going to be wanting to do it with experienced players and not noob NPCs with limited skill sets.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say they'll be with you. They'll just be knocked out in the first hit. Every
All
time.
the time.
Hey, that vanish skill is gonna come in real handy. I was gonna have him.
Yeah, if I ever play single player, it'll only be for normal difficulty anyways.
Yeah.
I don't imagine myself getting a level 60 single player character.
But I like playing alone. Why do I have to have a pet?
The main thing that I see as a major benefit to the single player in that context is, it will give you a chance to explore every facet of the story. You won't feel rushed. You can just talk
Right.
to people. You can get all the little bits of info that you want without the main distractions going on with multiplayer.
Right.
So there's really no reason in that particular instance to carry it into Nightmare Hell because the story doesn't change.
That's true. By the time you get to Nightmare in Hell, you're ready for business.
Right. That's pretty much it. So, from my perspective, I try to take a pragmatic approach to things, and I say, well, if they put all of this effort into balancing the game, especially in Nightmare and Hell mode, and probably a lot better than Diablo 2 did, then Mercenaries, by default, would be a major thing to try to balance in.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, look at Diablo 2 as a great example, when they had auras, when you had these crazy items with auras, and you had all of these different factors playing in that kind of, made your character stronger, but it wasn't very well balanced to begin with.
Right.
One player versus 8 player, how many is too many? Oh, now I'm going to get one-shotted, etc. So
They are saying that internal testing, there is a bug where you can actually play multiplayer with these guys running around too.
nice.
Nice.
And he says, if you have a witch doctor in the party with all his mongrels and pets and whatnot, it gets pretty crazy. Which brought up a question in my mind is, what if you have 4 witch doctors in the game? How insane would it be when they all have their pets running around? And how will you distinguish between your pets and their pets so you know which ones to blow up?
You guess.
So could it be
I would-
color differentiation here?
I
But-
would imagine you just
Good
start
question.
clicking, in a particular area. If nothing blows up, that's not yours.